Number 5, the world's smartest woman.
I bet you'd both be real sorry if I killed myself, wouldn't you? Huh?
Why are you saying that?
No reason.
Sister Sage might be the most vapid, stupid, boring, and annoying interpretations of a genius character I have ever watched on a television program. Besides her dull personality, the worst part about her character is that we're told that she's smart, but we're never actually shown that she is. That's an old rule in storytelling, because if you just tell an audience something, it won't resonate with them as much because they're not experiencing it for themselves. Usually when writing intelligent characters, creators will make an effort to show the audience the high levels the characters think at. Look at Sherlock Holmes, for example. Whether it's his unique perceptive abilities, clever anecdotes, or how his quirks make him seem strange in social situations, it really stands out to the audience how intelligent he is. Sage does none of these things. For the most part, she seems like a normal woman with a bad sense of fashion. She doesn't really make any clever remarks or speak in a manner that puts her above anyone else. I mean, sure, in her opening scene we can see that she can deduce quite a bit about someone just from looking at them, but this ability isn't very consistent, and it seems to change depending on the scene. For example, when Homelander and Sage are interrogating the staff at Vought to find out who's been leaking information, Homelander unexpectedly kills Annika when they're interrogating her. Sage is upset by this because Homelander's impatience makes her unsure if they've actually plugged the leak or not. Now this might seem like a small thing, but it raises important questions for the character and her abilities. If she can read people so well, then how did she not know that Homelander was lying? And if Sage knew that Homelander would kill Annika, then why did she let it happen? Was this part of her plan? But if Sage can read someone like a book, then wouldn't she be able to discern if someone was leaking information just by having a brief conversation with them? She pretty much figures out that A-Train's the leak just by looking at him, so wouldn't she be able to do the same thing with Annika? See, the problem with writing a genius character is that their intelligence needs to be applied to every action they take. This will justify their abilities to the audience. But having a character be surprised in situations where she should be a step ahead of everyone else undermines her character. But even when writers find a way for Sage to have everything planned out, she still comes off like a moron. For example, in episode 2, Frenchie, and Kimiko track Sage down at TruthCon. It's revealed pretty quickly that she's led them into a trap, where Firecracker and Splinter have them surrounded. Sage then tells the boys that she's been onto them the whole time, and that this has all been a part of her plan to have them killed. She then tells Firecracker to kill all 3 of them, but then walks away before anything happens, like she's a 1960s Bond villain.
Wait, aren't you even gonna watch them? They could get away.
No. I'm going to leave them alone and not actually witness them dying. I'm just going to assume it all went to plan. What?
So let's break this down to see how stupid all of this actually is. Instead of walking away, she could have just had Firecracker and Splinter kill them. From a distance. Then bang. They're dead. Or why not bring a whole group of undercover Vought agents to back her up so they could kill the boys? Or bring the Deep and Black Noir. They could do it too. How about Homelander? He'd probably want to kill the boys. Or literally anyone else besides 2 people you just met. How does Sage know that Firecracker is even capable of murder? Does Sage have some information on Firecracker that would suggest that she's capable of doing that? If that's the case, then she'd still need to have met Firecracker first in order to analyze her, to determine whether or not Firecracker could be hired as an assassin? What if Firecracker said no? What would Sage have done then? I mean, the only proof that Sage has of her alliance with Homelander is a selfie she took earlier in the episode. But this photo doesn't mean anything. Homelander is a celebrity. He takes pictures with people all the time.
Can I get a selfie?
Of course you can.
Why would Firecracker believe that Sage is meeting with her on behalf of Homelander? And it's not like it would have been hard to get this information. Again, she could have brought the Deep and Black Noir, both as her muscle and as evidence that she's working with Vought. Or maybe some Vought representatives. Or lawyers. Or anything except a fucking selfie.
Are you? I don't know how to... I have a rule about being constructive, so I can't ask any questions right now because all of the questions that I have right now are rhetorical and they end with the word idiot.
See, what the writers have done is just give Sister Sage a bunch of powers that nobody knows the rules of. She can do whatever the plot needs her to because the audience has no set understanding of what her capabilities are. It essentially gives the writers no accountability, because they can make her be whatever they want, and we just have to accept it. In one scene, Sage can analyze so well that she gives him a panic attack just by talking about his insecurities. But then in the next episode, she is shocked when she's kicked out of the 7 by Homelander. Wait, I thought she could predict how people will act in any given situation.
What?
Can't she read people really well?
What?
But she's predicted the whole season. Can someone with these abilities ever really be surprised?
What? What's that? Say that again?
How can she both be able to predict everything and still be surprised?
What is going on?
I am almost never surprised.
Oh, I guess she still can be surprised? What?
I don't know what is going on, but somewhere our wires got crossed.
Even in Sage's introduction, I walked away scratching my head on a few things. And not because it was such intelligent writing that I couldn't understand it, but because the smartest person on the planet came off as kind of an idiot.
And I thought, what a fucking dumbass.
Why is she just reading books in her apartment and not leading something like NASA? You'd think being a super genius would lead you to do more than nothing. How can the smartest person in the world be so content to sit in a messy apartment and not contribute to society? She lives in Detroit, right? She could have at least had one of those little farm allotments or something. It's pretty clear from her backstory that Sage's motivation is to finally be listened to and to have the opportunity to manipulate global events. But she didn't need Homelander to do this. If Sage is as powerful as the show tells us that she is, then she could have manipulated the world by becoming a politician, or becoming some kind of agent for the government, or starting a major company. The show wants us to believe that she's some kind of disenfranchised black woman from Detroit that hates society because it never listened to her. But it's ridiculous, because she could have found a million different ways to manipulate society. I mean, she likes to bring up ethnicity a lot. She could probably start a race war like Malcolm X did in Black Panther. His plan was retarded, but hey, at least he was motivated. It's like the writers of this show sat around a table talking about what the main tropes of genius characters were, and decided that making a lazy burnout would somehow be more interesting. Oh, well, how will the audience know that she's smart? Just have her make some racial commentary that gives her the vibe that she'd be mildly obsessed with the concept of racial segregation.
Can't have one of us without a racial qualifier. Plus, I'm a black woman who is 1,000 times smarter than you. Your ego can't handle it. Appreciate the subtextual racism there.
How's that for uppity, cracker?
Harry Potter, Neo, Luke Skywalker. Hollywood's trained people to fall in love with white boy lone saviors. Presented my research to those satisfied fat crackers.
Well, I guess that brings us to number 6, the smartest woman's smartest plan. I gotta say I saw this one coming. Of course Sage had it all planned out. Didn't you know that all of her stupid decisions, bad ideas, and horrible mistakes were all part of the plan? Like everything else wrong with this character, the problem with Sage's master plan is that it's never explained to us. This is yet another cop-out by the writers to avoid any accountability for their shitty storytelling. Now Sage tells Homelander,
Just had to keep a few bits to myself. You know, the bits you'd fuck up by, being you.
but that's actually not true. The writers didn't want to tell the audience her plan because we would fuck it up. By thinking. Because if you lay out Sage's plan by the actions she takes and the events that happen, it all comes out as one big convoluted mess that has bigger holes in it than the Titanic. It's actually so broken and stupid that I had a difficult time writing this part of the script because I had to sift through all this garbage to figure out the plot. Dear God, I feel like I'm working for the showrunners. Give me a job, Eric Kripke, you rat fuck! So we now know that Sage's ultimate goal was to expose the president and the boys for the murder of Newman, turning them into criminals and having Calhoun be her patsy. Now this isn't going to be easy, but let's try to sort out how she accomplished this. Number 1. Sage creates social division by inciting a riot and framing Starlighters for the murders of Todd and friends. Number 2. In exchange for killing the boys, Sage promises Firecracker a spot in the Seven. She uses Firecracker as a public voice against the Starlighters. Number 3. Sage then searches for who's been leaking information at Vought. Number 4. Sage apparently then becomes aware that A-Train is the leak and gives him misinformation. Number 5. She attempts to recruit Newman to her side. Number 6. Firecracker is then used to turn Starlight into a public pariah for killing her unborn child and public assault. Number 7. She allows Cameron Coleman to take the fall as the leak instead of A-Train. Number 8. Sage finally convinces Newman to join their side. In turn, Newman brings the trust of the American elite who agree to the coup. Number 9. A-Train reveals the shapeshifter's location to the boys. Number 10. Sage is fired by Homelander for being incompetent. Number 11. Sage then has the shapeshifter become Starlight and delete all the files the boys had on Newman. Number 12. Have the shapeshifter somehow obtain a video of the president admitting his illegal activities and then try to kill him. Number 13. The assassination fails, but luckily Newman is killed by Butcher, which Sage then frames the president with because of the video the shapeshifter took. Number 14. Calhoun is sworn in as president and swears his fealty to Homelander. Wow, we did it. We put this master plan together in a way that totally makes sense and has zero plot holes. Oh wait, that was sarcasm.
Exactly. It's all part of the plan.
What is the plan?
I kind of make it up as I go.
That's not really a plan then.
Okay, so it's not a plan. Look, I'm not good with plans. And I'm not good with clues.
So let's go through and rip apart every little thing that's wrong with this stupid master plan. So Sage ironically frames 2 black guys for the murder of Todd, who were not at the riot at all.
Footage of your 2 starlighters. About a mile from the bodies at time of death. It's hard to commit a murder when you're 20 blocks away.
Why didn't Sage use the shapeshifter to kill someone during the riot and frame them in the same way they were going to frame Starlight? The shapeshifter could have taken the identity of Colin or something and stabbed anyone in the crowd and framed him for murder. That way there would be no leak and the plan would have actually worked. I've asked this question before, but why did Sage make killing the boys a part of the requirement for joining the Seven for Firecracker? And then Sage lets Firecracker join anyway, even after she fails. It's never discussed again, even between the 2 characters. I mean, if I was Firecracker, I would be like, oh hey, thanks for letting me join despite me totally fucking up and failing to kill the boys. Which was the one thing you said that would get me into the Seven. And then Sage could have been like, oh yeah, sorry. Kind of retarded for me to even want them dead since they play such a big part in my master plan.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Why does Sage say she uses A-Train to spread misinformation to the boys and constantly messes with her plans? A-Train tells the boys about the secret meeting with Newman. He steals Compound V for Huey. He tells them about Tech Knight's party and gives them the location of the shapeshifter. All of these things are pretty ruinous and have no way of serving Sage or her coup. Like, what if the boys had all decided to take Compound V and fight the Seven like they do in the comics? Or how about the Tech Knight party? What if MM had shot Sage in the fucking chest instead of her head? What if Kimiko had ripped her throat out or something, like she does to every nameless goon she kills? I mean, Sage's whole plan to get America's elite on her side for the coup almost completely fails because she gets blasted in the head by MM. This horrible mistake also results in Tech Knight's death, whose prisons Homelander was going to use to get rid of their political enemies. It is difficult to justify that Sage in any way intended for this to happen, or at least facilitated the situation by allowing A-Train to contact MM.
And then we'll just, see what happens. You ready?
Wait. So we're just gonna wing it?
Piper, there's a big difference between winging it and seeing what happens.
Did Sage also intend for A-Train to follow her to the shapeshifter's hideout? The boys show up and they almost kill her, and although she gets away, they still become aware of the shapeshifter's existence. Wouldn't that have been information Sage would have best kept secret? Would it not be easier for the shapeshifter to infiltrate the group if they were unaware of her existence? Wait, hold on. What did you say about misinformation?
No, he was the perfect misinformation delivery system until now. This was all part of the plan.
Not a great plan.
I mean, at the end you say that there was a few curveballs, but you also intended for A-Train to leak information. But what was wrong with A-Train's information?
No, he was the perfect misinformation delivery system.
Also, why does Sage infer to A-Train that she knows he's the leak? She just makes some snarky remarks at him that makes him panic a bit, but it doesn't really amount to anything for either character. Isn't Sage just making an enemy out of a really powerful guy for no reason? I mean, it doesn't benefit Sage in any way to let him know that she's onto him. Doing so would only result in some negative consequence for her. Like, what if A-Train got freaked out and decided it was too risky to keep leaking information to the boys like she wants him to? Or what if he decides to kill her? It's not like he hasn't killed people before who have gotten in his way. He could kill Sage at any moment. And quietly, too. He could drag her out into the middle of the Pacific Ocean and just leave her there and run back before anyone noticed. Actually, why doesn't he do that? It would save him from any threat of being revealed to Homelander, and it would also save me from breaking down the shitty fucking show.
It's just the shit.
These are just shit.
So when Sage gets fired by Homelander for being an incompetent idiot, she seems pretty shocked and even upset. Again, I must ask how she did not predict this was going to happen. Anyone with a fucking brain could tell that Homelander was getting pretty pissed off with Sage's constant lying and failures. So did Sage think that if she kept lying, that Homelander wouldn't fire her or kill her? I mean, at this point, there's no reason for her to protect A-Train. So she could give him up to Homelander. Or Sage could explain, in detail, her convoluted plan. Oh, but then the writers would actually have to have thought of a plan. And they didn't. So...
It's a perfect plan. So inspired, so devious, yet so simple.
Doesn't this whole assassination plot get completely ruined by the fact that the boys are aware of the shapeshifter? Couldn't the president just go public with this information? He could announce that he has evidence that Sister Sage is colluding with a shapeshifter assassin. They have witness testimony of CIA operatives, as well as a hideout that contained leaked Secret Service files.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid? Why aren't more people intelligent, like me?
The point is that estimating that all the president would do is hide out in a bunker with barely any protection around him is pretty stupid. Why the fuck are these guys using pistols and machine guns? Where are the anti-superhero weapons? You got any 50 cals or miniguns or something? You're protecting the president, right? Even if you ignore all that, there is still the issue of blaming Starlight for the assassination attempt. Now they know whoever attacks the president is actually a shapeshifter, so that wouldn't work. But oh wait, I guess the shapeshifter's real mission was to actually record the president saying something completely damning like,
"If you'd killed Newman like I ordered, we wouldn't be stuck 4 stories underground playing pocket pool."
Wouldn't the president be a little tight-lipped about what information he randomly divulges to people when anyone he knows could be an assassin? It's pretty lucky that the shapeshifter walked in with the camera on right at the time that the president admitted to his crime. She didn't even need to start a conversation. She just walked in and got the information right away. But wait, why does she still try to kill the president if her real goal was to expose his assassination attempt on Newman? I am so confused. So confused! Okay, so we finally made it. The craziest part of this whole fucking show. So either Sage counted on the boys killing Newman for her plan to work, or she knew that Butcher would do it. However, either of these answers brings up a bunch of questions. It seems pretty likely that Sage thought that the boys would successfully assassinate Newman. However, there is no evidence or reason that Sage would be aware of the super secret soup-killing virus that the boys possess. Even if she was aware of the virus, there is no way for them to successfully administer it to Newman. Frenchie claims that he'll aim for some soft tissue with his little dart gun. But what the fuck does that even mean?
And I aim for soft tissue. Perhaps.
Newman got lasered by Homelander and it didn't even leave a mark. Huey threw acid on her face and nothing happened. So what, Frenchie, are you going to aim for? Especially when you're standing right next to her for some reason. But this doesn't even really matter because the boys decide that they're not going to kill Newman anyway. Which means that Sage is a fucking retard for thinking that they would. And she can't predict shit. So the only other possibility for the master plan to work is that Sage somehow knew that Butcher would end up killing Newman. But how did she know that he had the means or ability to do that? I mean, I guess Sage could have known about Butcher's cancer by finding his medical records. But then she would also have to know that he took Compound V again, which gave his cancer powers. Sage would also have to be aware that Butcher's super cancer has created an alter ego that would take over his body and would also be powerful enough to kill Newman. Wait a minute. How did Butcher even know about this super secret meeting with Newman when he's been in a government facility all day?
Okay. Get the fuck out of here. You're done. Go back to your little litter box in Detroit and die alone.
So that was it. That was Sage's master plan. I want you to stop and think about what I said today. Think and ask yourself this. How the fuck did these people sit in a room for 2 years and write this shit script? How did no one ask what the fuck was happening? It always surprises me when you think about the process of creating something like a TV show and all the people involved, and you still end up with something that a 16-year-old could have written in their creative writing class. You have to write the script, rehearse the scenes, film the fucking shit. Then you gotta review the shit you made. After that, you gotta edit the shit, promote the shit, market the shit, and so on. And you'd think that after all that, after your shitty, stupid idea has gone through the hands of a million people, and on their clothes, probably a little bit in their mouths, that someone in this line of fecal distribution system would say, hey, what the fuck is this crap you're feeding me? I'd rather watch my firstborn son get his head cut off in a desert somewhere than sit here and watch one more second of this terrible fucking TV show. But no. They let it happen. They said, hey, why not? Maybe they didn't see the show for what it had become. Maybe they were nervous. Maybe a little scared. But that's the heart of the problem. It's you, Eric Kripke, you rat bastard. You and your big bald head. And that's what I'm coming for next. That big, tasty, bald brain of yours.
Going to quote it. Hi, trolls. 1, this is literally the opposite of the show's fucking message. 2, you're causing pain to real people with real feelings. Be kind. If you can't be kind, then eat a bag of dicks, fuck off to the sun, and don't watch The Boys. We don't want you.
Yeah, that is a thing that I said.
Incredible.
Actually, I take it all back. I just didn't like Sage was a woman, and that she's smart.
I lay in bed.
Please like and subscribe so I don't kill myself and can keep making these videos.
You left me here all alone, tears running constantly.